Welcome to Wario versus the Crack Goblins. Weird things are cool. When I think of weird things, I think of words like hidden gem and underrated. Hell, that's what, 80% of the games I cover? Most of the games I like? Yo, check this out. This is the game that everyone knew about, but nobody bought. The cover looks super appealing. I guess it's all the treasure. But most important is that E rating, so that nobody will feel uncomfortable playing this Nintendo video game. What the fuck is that? What is that? No! Wario is a big bastard. Nobody likes Wario. Wario's the guy who goes to a party and can't stop fucking farting. He's been in a lot of games, though not a lot of Mario's games. I guess he might damage Mario's squeaky clean image. Fucking Puritans. Wario gets down. In the old games he starred in, he could ram enemies, just beat the shit out of them. Mario couldn't do that. Mamma mia, I'm about to throw hands, Koopa Troopa, mamma mia. And look at these other games. Wario eats a weenie, Wario jacks off, Wario... These are great. In all Wario's games, Nintendo does things a little different, a little dumber, a little more aggressive. Still E-rated though, we will not offend the Nintendo Puritan overlords. This game was made by Treasure, the people who made the helicopter titty game. That one was on the PS2 though. If anything, it's the first time Wario got his own 3D game, so I'm really excited to see what they do with him.
Welcome to Wario World.
This all looks surprisingly legit. I remind you that this is the same character who gets drunk in a Nintendo game. This is that same character with Nintendo-supported inflation fetish porn. This is that very same character who can't stop fucking farting. Oh hey, a story. It doesn't intrude, really. Wario's sitting on his throne like he would when a black diamond eyeball monster pops out and turns all his treasures into monsters. It's horrible. Did I say horrible? Wario's the only horrible thing here. Oh no, Wario, you dropped your chromosomes everywhere. So Wario gets dropped into, I don't know, Wario World, trademark, and he's gotta go through some levels, collect some stuff and get hella coins, bro. But oh no, a bunch of monsters and puzzles and platforming sections are in the way. Yeah, it's one of those. How truly sad that the cynicism has taken over. If I was a kid again and I got this game, I'd be all, yeah, Wario World! Now I just turn on these games and I'm like, there's shit hiding everywhere. I think I gotta, I don't know, drink a rum. Wario World is surprisingly bland. If you took the cartoony elements out, so monsters, some objects, etc., it'd look a lot like Pikmin. I've always been confused by this. In Mario Odyssey and some other Mario titles, the world's just really bland. Shockingly bland for a world with moving mushrooms and other moving mushrooms. And Wario Land committed to interesting cartoony enemies. This game does this half-realistic thing and it's almost disgusting. I don't want an, I don't know, biohazard yellow man running around a half-realistic circus. I want him farting on blood blorbs and Googas. And for the ground to look like a video game, you know? Is asking for blood blorbs too much, Miyamoto? If you're wondering what the point of this game is, just consult the science outside the levels. Easy for the Nintendo fans. So you can break the gameplay down into 5 sections. I don't know about you, but the first thing I noticed about the monsters is how many fit on the screen and how visceral the combat is. This was a big deal. Too many enemies on the screen usually slows the game down, but I feel like Wario World doesn't have too much to render, and it breaks its stage content into various chunks so it can get away with it. Wario just punches dudes. Lizard Dude just pops out of the ground, BAM! The player's afraid of clowns, BAM! Jurassic Park strikes back. You're either punching, headbutting, ramming, butt stomping, throwing, whirlwinding, or fucking pile driving enemies. And they just... You actually have to stun most larger enemies by punching them and then finish them off with a big attack. They look good and hit other enemies too, but it gets tedious by the 4th level about. Thankfully, multi-enemy combat is not the main focus of the game. It just makes Wario feel cool, which is good. The buttons aren't sluggish and everything responds really snappily. As for the monsters, most are inoffensive and go down really easily. Some are just annoying, and they all respawn after leaving and returning to the screen you found them at. That's important for making the world feel not empty and for some puzzles, but combined with the tedium, it'll make you just avoid combat, which is honestly a terrible oversight. All you get from monsters is coins anyway. Dude, it's a blood blorb! Ew. Oh, sorry, that's Fattington. It's Faddington! Fuck! Falling off the screen will summon 4 ghost rhino heads that steal your coins, and you have to run around punching boxes to find a spring to bring you back to the world. And if you fall in the water, you lose coins. Obviously. What the fuck did you think was down there, idiot? Okay, you're not just gonna fall into pits because of Faddington. Usually it'll be boredom and rushing past enemies or sections you've already tried. Bad camera angles because you can only shift it slightly to the right or left, up or down. And some of the platforms are not forgiving. Parts of the environment are platforming tools too, which, cool, whatever. I like these little balls that you cling to and jump between, but I could do without Wario rubbing his gross slug body all over big wood. The platforming is pretty basic, sometimes challenging and a little bit cool. If anything, some of the platforming elements are the only thing that really bring you into the world. If immersion is getting lost in a world, the process is helped when you can interact with the environment, so that's all cool and good. You know what I don't like? Slip sliding around on every single tiny platform I jump to because Wario's got fucking slippery slime shoes. No, really. Half the frustration in the game comes from soapy feet. Wario has such a hard time just jumping and landing and running and turning the way you want him to. It's not like ice controls, if you know that feeling, but it's slightly off. I feel like they wanted Wario to control smoothly, which he does mostly, but I can think of some very key examples, some very relevant moments where the iron boots from Zelda would have been nice. Scattered through the levels are trapdoors. They're the chunked content I was talking about. You'll butt slam through them or pile drive through if it's a metal door and emerge in a Mario Sunshine puzzle level. Weird, right? Most of them are pretty basic, like jump up a series of boxes, break boxes to make a path, hit a series of boxes in order, the usual stuff. Then we have some of my favorites, such as literal rotating death trap, spinning box jump of Spike Ball Doom, rapidly rotating wheels of Whoosh, and the best, the most obnoxious jumping and platforming challenge of the game. These let you retry infinitely, which, thank God, I think some of these easily were harder than most Dark Souls bosses. I'm not really salty about them, but that jumping one just gets under my skin. Like, you have to land perfect on every platform or you fall, while simultaneously jumping on a tilted smaller platform as it rotates while jumping over the spike ball, while jumping back as normal, and it continues on to one that you have to stay put and do perfectly on until you win. It's not easy. The game's puzzles are pretty much perfect in difficulty because you can fail, figure them out, and move on. But fuck! The difficulty in the game comes more from searching every inch of the map for every single thing, so you don't have to get bogged down by ridiculous difficulty. Speaking of which, when your health is low, you gotta go to the garlic vendor. Yeah, remember Smash Bros?
Wario loves garlic. He eats whole cloves of it day and night.
And it's true, fucker eats whole cloves. You get it by punching the vendor. Dude asks you to do it too. Kinda disgusting. I'd watch yourself, Nintendo. And he jacks up the prices every time, so it feels right to punch him. I don't even have a joke. It gets worse and funnier the more you think about it. You also spend coins when you die, so all it takes to revive is a little money, and let me tell you, you'll be swimming in coins by the late game, so it's basically extra lives. And that's all coins do. And that's all coins do. And that... Look, it's wrong. I kind of thought I could spend coins on collectibles or something, or a house for Wario or something cool. The coin economy in this game, okay, is fighting and puzzle solving and playing the game, I guess, for the privilege of healthcare. Is Wario World a nihilistic reflective study on the state of humankind? Are we, the players, mere slaves to gameplay for the sake of earning our right to live another day longer? Is our capital truly reserved only for self-preservation in the face of creeping death? Yes, that's what it is. Give me my fucking doctorate. This wouldn't be a Wario game without treasure. I mean, look at the box art. It's probably a key theme. Treasure's mostly hidden on these tiles, and it gets revealed by hitting a switch. It's really basic, and it makes you walk all over the place trying to remember where all the tiles were when they're not in the same screen, which is very common. Then there's those guys from the story, and they're all in cages. Don't worry, bro. I'll come back for you. Then there's gold Wario heads that make half hearts for you every time you get all of them in a stage. There's a bunch in every stage, and I only ever found them all in 2 stages, so I got to the end with pretty low HP overall. They're hard to find though. Some are hidden off camera for fuck's sake, and most are in puzzle rooms. And to fight the boss at the end of the stage, you need a bunch of red crystals. These are also in puzzle rooms. They're really easy to get. It's like checking boxes on a to-do list of actually playing through the level. So you better play through that shit. Some games have big bomb bosses. Some games have big worm bosses. Some games have big titty bosses. In Wario World, we have big bulge bosses. Are you serious, Nintendo? Can you see that? Did the 3D modelers see that? Yeah, obviously he saw that, because it's bigger than a Fenway Frank. Yeah, the bosses are pretty universally regarded as, what's the word? Fuck. A couple are pretty normal, like the antlion and the double dragon and the crocodile, but guys, why would you make that? You think this is some kind of circus? bosses are honestly so fucking putrid, I'm concerned for the designer's mental health. If you're out there, seek help. Alright, we're almost at the fucking end. It's almost done. Dude, I was playing on that! What are you doing? Here we are at the Black Diamond. This boss is a special place in my heart for showing off its AI really transparently. You gotta hit the crystals, which will release a fairy thing that'll punch the guy. Hit all 5 and he'll get stunned so you can pile drive him or whatever. But he tries to cut you off with fire lasers, and then he'll try to shoot another to trap you between the two. If the lines are close together, he'll do shockwaves that'll make you jump. And if they're apart, he'll shoot swirly fire. That's literally the fight. The only thing that'll kill you is awkward fire pathing and being hasty. You'll get hasty because sitting and waiting to do the damage that you know damn well you could be doing is such a blue-ballsing experience. And then he dies. And the game's just over. What was that, 8 hours? Buy it now on eBay for $99.99. After that, the imps or whatever do a stupid dance and restore your mansion. Even the boxed up ones you didn't find. It's hilarious. What'd you think about this game, Wario? You're a little eager, but yeah, more or less. It's a short game. It's not amazing, and it can be slightly frustrating, but the core experience is good. It's not a Mario game, but like the Japanese language recognizes, Wario is just bad Mario. His platforming is slightly off. The combat is boring and unnecessary for the most part. The game has great scope, but little vision. Lots of ideas, but not enough implementation. And the world really isn't all that magical. I think the most depressing thing is that Wario doesn't fart or burp in the game at all. Maybe I can lend him a few.